Used a lot of $5 words to explain that he's not a racist. I mean, seriously. I mean, those big words, they would even cost a lot on Wheel of Fortune. I mean, with all the vowels in that. Man. Hey, what is up there, guys? And welcome back to a brand new episode of The Evolve. How you guys doing on today? You know, to really summarize everything that, you know, in the intro, what the guy was saying, basically he's saying something that you probably heard and that we hear nowadays is that black people can't be racist. So that's what we're talking about on today. Not so much because of this intro, but because of this doctor. You know, this doctor, we got Dr. Morgan Mason, a PhD in African American Studies and Modern Civilization. So he decided to take a moment out of his classroom and out of teaching, and he decided to speak on the Eminem and Snoop Dogg situation for some reason. I don't know, the professor getting involved in this and putting his input, but let's hear exactly what he has to say. Well, this is what he said. He stated that in regards to the matter of M versus Snoop, I can only concur that Snoop can be prejudiced, but not racist. You see, prejudice refers to a positive or negative evaluation of another person based on their perceived group membership. While racism, on the other hand, it refers to social actions and practices and laws and beliefs or political systems that consist of different races to be ranked superior. So, you know, it can only be concluded that only Mr. Mathers is racist in this scenario. So it can only be concluded that Eminem is racist? So let's talk about this on today, about black people can't be racist and Eminem versus Snoop. Because we have this one side that say black people can't be racist. And why do they say it? It's because they say that black people in America, they don't wield institutional power. And they can be prejudiced or evil, or they can respond to the racism, but they cannot be racist, but because they hold no power, no institutional power. The powers that be, they are able to create laws and rules and mandates that can put black Americans into situations where black people, they don't have that same power. You need power to be racist, is what that side is saying, and what the doctor, our dear doctor, was saying in regards to Eminem, and also our guy in the intro. You've got to be able to wield a institutional, systematic power in order to be racist. You know what? Let's take and listen to another teacher and professor explain out her own mouth just what she mean when she say black people can't be racist.
Cannot be racist. Let me repeat that. Black people cannot be racist. To be racist, you must be prejudiced and you must wield institutional power. And although anyone in this country can be prejudiced, anyone can believe something negative about someone based on their race, whether you're black or white, you cannot be racist if you don't wield institutional power. And black people don't wield institutional power in this country. Now, before you start Barack Obama all over me, let me explain that even though there are black people who hold some power, they don't hold institutional power. I'm an educator, so like white judges, white police officers, our systems, our institutions are still dominated by white people. And so that's a big difference. And the outcomes of prejudice are...
I love how she's like, I'm a teacher, so like, listen to me. You can tell that she must have a black a black boyfriend or whatnot. It just seemed that she was going off of talking points and really don't know about this herself. But anyway, we're not talking about that. So I want you to understand what this side's argument is. You have to be able to will an institutional power. Think of it, okay, let me help you explain what we're trying to say. And what they're trying to say is that, think of it like this. There is this house. Now, with this house, you know who owned this house and who built this house and everything? A white person. So the white person, he builds and he creates this house. He can create all the laws, he's rule, he's the landlord. Now, then comes in black people. Now, the black people that come into this house, they say, you know what? All white people, from now on, you guys eat in the bathroom. The black people, we eat at the table. The black people also in this house, they make some other rules. They say, all the white people, you have to use the bathroom outside. Black people get to use the bathrooms. Now, according to the theory on that side, this black person and the black people, they're not being racist because this is not their house. They don't make the laws. They don't control it. They have no power. They're just being evil and prejudiced, but they're not being racist. In order for them to be racist, they need to be the landlord. Because basically that argument is saying is that this is the white person's institution. So at the end of the day, no matter what the black people say, he can create laws, he can kick them out, he can overrule everything that they said, because at the end of the day, the powers at hand is given to the landlord, the white guy. So, if a white guy goes to a part of Africa, a part of Africa that is ruled and created, and this town is all black people. Black people create the standards, the laws. You know, there are some parts that are, those rural parts that are nothing but blacks. They have the black they have the black governing bodies and judges and teachers. They rule it. So if a white person comes to town and he says, y'all niggas need to bow and wash my feet. Yo, you look like a blackface. Yo, why y'all going to school? Y'all little kids, y'all little black kids, y'all don't get to go to school no more. I'm here now. That white person is not being racist, right? Because he don't will no power in this African town. The black people will the power. So he can say everything he wants and do anything he wants. Nigga this, nigga that, nigga. Because, well, he don't will any power. Kind of turns on itself, right? Doesn't sound right. Yeah, when you say black people can't be racist, it's convenient for me, but it's just not true. Institutional power. You know, the doctor that said that he have got to concur and conclude that Eminem is the racist one, he stated institutional power, it's about beliefs and laws. But how about we bring up the definition of racism? Okay, so here, and Webster defined, and not just Webster, but everywhere. You name it. Anywhere you want to go defines racism like this. A person who shows or feels discrimination or prejudice against people of other races, or believes that a particular race is superior. Now, one thing that I notice about the actual very definition of racism, it doesn't say anything about power. Doesn't say that you have to be able to wield the power and laws and rules. It says that a person who shows or feels discrimination or prejudice against another race. against another race. The very definition of racism, now that I think about it, it don't even say against the black race. If you show prejudice or believe that you are superior in any way towards another race, whether it's Hispanic, the whites, or blacks, according to the very definition of racism, you're racist. So where did this definition of power and institution in order to be racist come from? But you know what? Let's play with their definition on that side one more time. Okay, so let's play with their theory one more time, because I heard a black producer, a big-time YouTuber, a black entertainment professional and host of BET's a couple of shows, Mr. Blaze, and he recently stated that we needed to get Eminem out of the culture. We need to get him out of hip hop. He don't belong here, and that we should have been kicked him out because he's white and he's taking up spaces where Royce the 5'9" can be at. Let's listen to what he said.
I mean, that's really it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't understand what Dave and Benzino want the culture to do. What do y'all want us to do? Like, y'all want us to throw him in the fire, throw him away? Like, the dude he's a major contributor.
Dave and Benzino, that's what I want. I want y'all to do that.
Yeah, all right,
toss
cool.
This nigga.
Nah, that ain't happening. That ain't happening.
Because I think because with him, I think what happens on a larger scale, on a more grandiose scale, in black culture, he's holding up a space. He's taking up space. That and like I said, Royce, I'm not just saying this because you here. I said this shit yesterday. I've said this shit on many a podcast. If this nigga not here taking up space, I think you get that credit. I disagree, my brother.
What space is he really taking? He puts out one album a year.
Okay, so using that as an example, and using the doctor who said he can conclude that only Eminem is racist, let's take their theory because black people don't have power. Let's say that's true. Well, in hip hop, all the black rappers and everyone is always saying that, yo, that's our music. We own that. We started that. Okay, let's go along with that. Hip hop and rap, that's our territory. That's the black territory. Our origins, our foundation, our ancestors. We created that. Okay, we'll go with that. So we run stuff in hip hop. We own the power. We can set the rules. We are, as Lord Jamar would say, we are the soil. And nothing grows inside of hip hop unless we say it, because we have the power. We are the power at hand. So, given their own theory of racism, Eminem can't be racist, because he wields no power in hip hop. It's the black people that control everything. This is theirs, right? This is their house. They're the landlords. Dr. Morgan? No. We say black people can't be racist when it's convenient for us. And I think, Mr. Dr. Morgan, you need to shut up. And you know what? Not just doctor. I think everybody that used that narrative, we need to stop it. Because at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, there is a such thing as institutional racism. I mean, the powers at hand, because we still have that residue of slavery, that very residue of slavery, it has seeped into, modern day society. And some, because of those times and because of those rules and regulations and how black people wasn't oppressed, like I said, that very fingerprints and residue and that mentality, it still haunts many people in our society today. There are institutions, there are laws and rules that are put in place to hinder a certain race, whether it's financial, to keep them in a certain environment, to keep them closed, to keep them broke, to keep them down, to keep them away from certain loans and certain institutions in itself. There are mandates, and this is true. But the fact is that, yes, us as black people, we have had our struggle, and we still do. And we do still suffer, from institutional racism. But just because there's institutional racism, don't mean that there's not individual racism. So I think in closing, I would just say that racism is not about power. It's about an attitude. It's about your attitude and then the actions that you put behind it. You know, what we make important, then that's going to reflect what we do. If, you know, Large Jamar at a time, he made important that that Eminem is not a guest. He made that important. There's no other music genre that has this dialogue and dilemma besides hip hop. There's no other genre of music that has this internal fight between blacks and whites and who can come in. Country, you don't hear that. The blues, the rap, the pop, you don't hear this narrative. But because we make it important, so it becomes important and it reflects. He made that Eminem is not a guest. Eminem is a guest. So his actions and his interviews, everything reflect on that. What am I saying right now? What you make important in our lives, what we make important in hip hop, what we make important in our schools and in our work, them are the things that's going to reflect our actions. Maybe the solution to the racism and the divide is not more racism and divide, but instead, just change the narrative, change the story, change what is important. That's not important to me. I don't care if he's a white rapper. I don't care if he's a black rapper. Even on the same thing, I don't care if he's a mumble rapper. If we make that important, then that's what we're going to concentrate on. How about making joy important? Me personally, I choose joy. I like to know what you all think. I kind of went into a rant today, but I wanted to talk about this after seeing the Poor Doctors, Mr. PhD, and some of the other videos and that have been going around. I needed to speak on it because there's no other reaction or hip hop channel is going to speak on it because, you know, they got to set the tone. They're scared of comments. They're scared of people gonna hate and dislike, or I may, you know, MGK may see my videos or someone and I don't pander to anyone or anything. I like to know what you all think in the comments. If you are new to the channel, I hope you take some time and be sure to subscribe. There's gonna come times, if you are new, that you're gonna disagree with me, but that's all right. There are gonna become times that we're super petty and cringe at times, but that's all right too. We have a lot of fun, so I hope you go ahead and subscribe. If not, I will see you on the other side. As always, KIP, keep it positive.